Kentucky's got to figure stuff out. Severe Wheeler and Ty Washington, they're not meshing. They're not meshing. And it just feels like Kentucky offensively is stuck. They're stuck in like 2015.
They're stuck in 2005, man. Like I can't take watching them play. I hate watching them play. All of these really bad mid-range jumpers. Keon Brooks settling for stuff he shouldn't be settling for. A point guard, like this team was supposed to be able to shoot, but they have a point guard where you could just put your best defender on him, put him in the paint and let him play free safety because Severe Wheeler is not a threat outside of the paint. Kellen Grady has not been the guy I thought he was going to end up being. You have Oscar Tshiebwe playing as basically the best big guy, college basketball right now, putting up ridiculous numbers, and you can't find a way to win games at Notre Dame, who just got their asses kicked by Boston College. Like, what are we doing here, man? Like,
they're a player away. They're a player away. They're a creative. They're a creative guard away.
Are they really that? Are they really? I mean, I don't know. Why can't currently constructed? Why can't they beat teams?
Because they don't have a four, and they don't have a point guard that's effective. Like that's the biggest thing. Keon Brooks isn't the four man that they need. None of the like Damian Collins isn't ready to play that role. I don't think Bryce Hopkins is ready to play that role. Jacob Toppin's not that guy.
Well, I'm sorry, but that's not good enough at Kentucky.
I know. And then you combine all that with the fact that you have a point guard that can't shoot. Like this roster just does not work. And I think my biggest issue with this program and where it is right now, and I was kind of trying to needle you guys on Saturday night about this, is that I don't think Coach Cal is a very good X's and O's coach. I've made this point before, and you guys have heard me say this. He's not a basketball junkie. He's not one of these guys that comes home from like practice and puts on games on TV and just sits there and watches games all night, right? Like that's not who he is. So I don't think he has any new and creative ideas. The people have kind of figured out what he wants to do. And that's fine when you have the best players in college basketball. You don't have the best players right now. So you got to get creative in what you're going to do to be able to kind of accentuate the strengths of the guys that you have on your roster. And he's not doing that, right? And he's got a staff full of guys that are on there because of their ability to get talent in the program, but those guys aren't getting the kind of talent that you need to be able to win a national title. Now, that could end up being different next year because they got this loaded recruiting class coming in, but they're not putting their guys in the best position to succeed, I don't think.
Well, I made this point the other day, and I'm curious to hear what you say about it, Rob. But Fanta, I think you know where I'm going to go with this. Like with all these transfers and the way the transfer portal is gone right now, they can get you from the bottom of the leagues. If you're in a Power 6 league, notice I said Power 6, not Power 5. If you're going from the bottom and you're trying to get to the middle, transfers can get you there. If you're in the middle and you're trying to get to the top, it's got to be your uber talented freshman. Or it's got to be a team that's already loaded with talent, a la Arizona, right? So, like, I just feel like, and Goodman's made this point a lot, like Kentucky, like they have a lot of very good college players. They're not overly talented. Like Jacob Toppin, he's not Kentucky. Davion Mintz is not Kentucky. And I hate to even single these guys out, but like they're just not. And, Severe Wheeler, he could be a spark plug for you. Is he Kentucky? He's not John Wall. Like, that's the kind of guys that we're comparing these players to. And those are the kind of guys that Cal's done a nice job with. Like, so you have to, if you're going to be Kentucky and you're going to continue doing what you've been doing, you better have the most talented players on the floor because they're doing nothing different. Zero.
Yeah. I don't think that you can have, let's call it what it is. They have three guys basically that they're playing that aren't, you don't really have to guard out to the 3-point line. And this was supposed to be a team that can shoot. You don't have to guard Oscar Tshiebwe outside of 5 feet away from the rim, right? You don't have to guard Severe Wheeler. We saw Notre Dame not guard Severe Wheeler outside of the foul line area, right? Keon Brooks is shooting 23% from three.
And he's not a Kentucky player either.
Like you have a lot of guys on this roster that would be great as the fourth man or the fifth man on a Kentucky team. They're not putting Ty Washington in a place where he can be that guy. I think he like down the road, he could probably get there this season. Right now, he's not that guy. They're not putting him in a position to be this guy because they don't have the talent around him. Oscar Tshiebwe is a monster, right? Like he's good enough to do whatever you want for Kentucky, but they don't have the shoot. It's just everything about this roster is a weird fit, and I don't know. It's frustrating to watch them play. I don't.
I also think like Ty Washington, if he went somewhere like Oklahoma and played for Porter Moser, like somebody that's going to orchestrate a little bit more or manufacture a little bit more. I think his best thing about him is he's really good against closeouts. He's really good against reading the defense and then making decisions. He's not one of these guys that like just blow past the defense and then you force somebody to force actions. I'm not sure that's him. And he's not an overly physical guard or overly athletic guard like they've had in the past.
Yeah, it's a limited team and a limited roster, and I think that we might have overvalued them a little bit coming into this season. I mean, look, it's kind of the same thing as what we talked about with Villanova, right? Look at that roster and tell me who is the game-breaking pro and the game-breaking talent on that team. If it ain't Ty Washington, who you got? And if you're relying on just Big Sheep to go out there and do Big Sheep things, you can only get so far with a big guy that is not going to step out and make threes.
Yeah, and then you're playing 2s against 3s.
Yep.
That's what's happened in today's games. Nothing's changed. Like the game has changed over the past 7 years. It changed 12 years ago in the NBA. It's changed 5 years ago in college.